Hi, I'm Rhianna King and I'm thrilled to show off one of my pieces that I completed as part of my Diploma of Graphic Design. This poster was a double-sided poster that we created for AGDA, which is the Australian Graphic Design Association. The brief was that we had to come up with a concept that reflected the different levels or different layers of graphic designers, and then also to show off the support roles and the suppliers that graphic designers work with on a day-to-day basis in the industry. I took a bit of a light-hearted approach, I suppose, to this brief. I wanted to make it look like an ice cream poster. So here we've got the different layers of the graphic designer, or different levels of the graphic designer. We've got junior graphic designer represented as the humble icy pole. We've got the midweight designer as a vanilla ice cream, senior designer as a double scoop, and the creative director up the top there worth 40 cents as a ice cream sundae. And then on the back here we've got the support roles and the suppliers, which I've represented as flavours, I suppose, like you might see on an ice cream menu. So this project actually required two things from us. We had to write and research the text that would describe the different support roles and suppliers, and then we also had to come up with the creative concept for how we were going to present that information. So I did research the text and then wrote it up in Word. I took a bit of a light-hearted approach, I suppose, where I married a catchy little subheading with each of the different areas. So here we've got production manager, and the subheading is juggling many scoops. Public relations down here, ice cream, you scream, photographers, we've got picture perfect. So I really just tried to have a bit of fun with it and also make it as engaging as possible, knowing that some of the content might be a bit dry, so it was important to give it that, I guess, that bit of flair, I suppose. Then I found some stock imagery. The ice creams were I sourced from a stock library, but then I actually extensively edited it to match in with what I wanted. So altered the colour scheme and had quite a bit of a play around with the shapes and things. So I used that as a base. I also included some sort of fun little buttons. So graphic designer here, we've got new. Senior designer, we've got satisfaction guaranteed. So again, just tried to inject some humour into the poster. So I laid the posters out in InDesign, and then used Illustrator to create a lot of these banners and badges and the little swirl thing here that we see. I used some background textures to create the background poster, and then I used Photoshop to give it a really edgy vintage worn paper look to it. The other thing that I had to do was, once it had all been laid out, was cut text where it was necessary, so a bit of copy editing. Probably that was the biggest challenge of this brief, was to get the balance right between providing enough information that you're satisfying the information brief, but not so much that it ends up being really text heavy and unattractive and overwhelming for the user as well. So I think I've nailed that component of it. I think there's enough description of each of the roles that people get an idea of what we're talking about, but I don't think it's overwhelming to the viewer, and I think you could easily digest that information. So there was certainly an opportunity to have a bit of fun with this poster, and I certainly did. So I guess in terms of what skills I used, my writing and research skills, which certainly came in handy. And then also the use of the Adobe suite, so my experience in Illustrator, InDesign and Photoshop certainly came in handy for this role. So I think that I'm proud of this poster. I'm proud to show it off, and I hope that the hypothetical client would have been pleased with it too. So thanks for stopping by.